Okay, so arriving in this space and connecting with your breathing. So feeling the inhalation and the exhalation. And just letting go of your day so far. Letting go of the busyness of your mind. And being present. So being here with your breath. If the mind is particularly busy this evening, you may even like to count the length of your breath. Mentally counting to yourself the inhalation and the exhalation. Allow all the muscles around the face to relax and soften. Just feeling the lungs expand, feeling the abdomen expand and contract on the exhale. Smooth, even, soft breath. And maintaining this breath throughout your practice this evening, coming back to it each time the mind wanders off. Bring your awareness back to your breathing. Feel the breath. Especially using it in more challenging postures. Making sure the breath remains smooth and even. Remembering in the practice tonight to work with what is appropriate for you this evening, your energy levels. If you have any injuries, just working with what is appropriate for you. If you need to come to rest at any stage throughout the practice, then being sure to come down to child's pose and rest. A few moments now to bring your awareness back to the whole body, laying in Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. And just take a few moments now to stretch your arms up and over the head. Big stretch, feeling through the sides of the body. And then as you exhale, just bring the arms back down by the side and hug the knees in towards the chest. And just rocking side to side, just pressing down through your lower back. Just feeling the lower back, middle back, and upper back. Just tuning into how that feels this evening. Always being present in your practice. And then rolling over to your right hand side. And we'll come straight up to extended child's pose. So just taking the blankets away. And we place the big toes together, the knees the width of the mat, sit the bottom back to the heels, as you know, and releasing the forehead towards the floor. Let's connect here now with our breathing. Nice, deep, full breaths. You can start to activate now through your Ujjayi breathing. Maybe working with Ujjayi breath, allowing the lungs to expand and contract. Inhaling and exhale. Allow the forehead to release towards the floor as you soften down through the forefront of the brain. 3 more rounds of breath here. On the next inhalation, let's come up to all fours. And we'll do 6 rounds of cat-cow. So taking the hands underneath the shoulders, knees are hip width. Let's start together. So on the inhalation, let's gaze forward. And then as we exhale, rounding the spine up towards the ceiling. Nice arch through the spine. Inhale forward. And exhale, rounding the spine. And continue 4 more rounds in your own time. Inhaling forward and exhale, rounding the spine. Good, closing the eyes if you like. So as you close the eyes, you can visualize the entire spinal column and just allow space to be created through each vertebra. Feeling into your spine. Staying in tune, staying present with your breath. When you've completed your rounds, just to bring us all back together, we'll just come back to all fours. Good, and bringing your left knee into center, push the right leg directly out behind you. Good, and raising your opposite arm. So making sure to keep your hips level to the floor, draw your belly in, raising the opposite arm, lengthening out through your fingers and your toes. Good, making sure we're breathing nice, full, even breaths. Keeping the right hip dropping down and lengthening out through fingers and toes. Good. And release, and coming to the other side. Stretch the legs straight out and raising the opposite arm, lengthening through the fingers and the toes. Good. Draw the belly up and in if you can, lifting up through your pelvic floor, making sure the belly stays drawn up, making sure we're maintaining our breath. Smooth, even breath. Good. Excellent. Releasing. Good. Let's just do some hip circles now. So just circling the hips for 3 or 4 rounds in one direction, so you know the drill, and then 3 or 4 rounds in the other direction. Letting it be loose and relaxed. 3 or 4 in the other direction. Just relaxing, loosening through your hips. And when you complete, coming back to all fours, let's just sit the bottom back again towards the heels. Stretch the arms forward again, spreading the fingers, bottom back towards the heels. Just take 2 more breaths here. Expanding through the lungs, using Ujjayi breath, that slight constriction through your throat. And on the next inhale, let's come forward, tuck the toes under and push back to your downward dog. Let's stretch out through the backs of the legs, taking one heel to the ground and then the other, lengthening through your hamstrings. So just do what feels right or good for you, just to release through the backs of your legs. Tune into the hamstrings this evening. Remember, each time we come to our practice, even if we practiced this morning or this evening, or over the weekend, we bring a fresh awareness to our practice. Come up onto the balls of the feet and stretch your sit bones up to the ceiling. And then exhale both heels down towards the floor. Good. Breathing here, full and even breaths. Roll your armpits in towards each other as you create space between the shoulder blades. Spread the fingers, press down through the hands. Lengthen through the heels. Excellent. Pop back down onto the knees and sit the bottom back to the heels and just resting down. Breathing here once again. Inhale, coming to downward dog. So pressing through your hands, tuck the toes under, pushing back. So let's stretch through the hip flexors now. So raising your right leg up, you may need to wriggle yourselves a bit forward, good. And then bending your right knee, bringing the foot towards the opposite buttock. That's it, opening up through the hip flexor. Beautiful, get that nice stretch, nice opening. Breathing here. Good, and the other side, releasing the leg and bringing it up. Opening up through the opposite side. Press evenly down through your hands. Breathing. Good, releasing, taking the big toes together. Rest if you need to, but take the big toes together. Push your bottom up towards the ceiling. Good, and stretch your sit bones. Lengthen, bend the knees slightly. Good. Coming down onto the knees and back into cat-cow position. So taking a few cat-cows. So inhaling, gazing forward, and exhaling, rounding the spine. Inhaling, and exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling. Good, and then come into a kneeling position and tuck your toes under. So we're kneeling, tucking toes under, placing the hands at the middle of the back. Good. And basically a couple of variations. You can take your hands to your heels and open up through the front of your chest, or just keep your hands on your hips and just opening up here through the front of the chest. Good. So nice full breaths. When we've been sitting at our desks all day, it's really nice to be able to open up through the front of the chest, pushing the pelvis forward. Good. When you're ready, inhaling, coming up and stretching forward into child's pose again. Good. And last downward dog, pressing through the hands and pushing back to your downward dog. Stretch it out and just notice from maybe your first downward dog of this evening to now, you can notice just a slight difference, maybe a little bit warmer through the body, maybe a lengthening through your hamstrings and opening through your hips. Just being aware of that. And just noticing a slight difference, if any. Nice full breaths. We're going to step the feet to a seated position, taking the legs straight out in front of us. Good. So come into Janusarasana. So taking the right foot into the inner thigh. So right foot comes in, pushing the ball of the left foot away, making sure we're sitting onto our sit bones, grounding down. Good. Inhale, let's raise the arms up. And then as you exhale, let's float forward, taking hold, if you can, of the foot, keeping the shoulders relaxed. If you can't reach the foot, just have your hands on your shin, making sure not to tighten up through your shoulders. So we're lengthening through the spine, as opposed to rounding the spine. Good. Keeping the spine nice and long. Again, nice full, even breaths.